Hi, this is Robert from Part Fusion Electronics. In my last video I described how I was going to use this custom mold box to make a silicone mold. I had used regular wood glue, not the waterproof glue, to lay a bead of glue around this and then to glue these parts together to make our liquid tight seal. And then I placed the bulb in as so. I then mixed up some silicone. This I got from a local supplier here in Ireland, or in Northern Ireland. Following the instructions on the silicone, I mixed up a batch that would be suitable to fill this cavity and a little bit more. I then vacuum degassed the silicone and then carefully poured the silicone into the opening here. It was a very, very thick silicone, so it was quite difficult to get it to go in, and it took quite a while to coax it into the gap here. I didn't fill it up all the way, but I filled up about halfway, degassed it again, and the bubbles came out and they started to move up over the side here, over the lip. So if I was to remake this mold box again, I would increase the depth here, probably up to around the level of where this 3D printed piece is, to give a little bit more space for the silicone to expand out and the bubbles to pop. So after I'd kind of done one degassing, I topped up to the level again and did a bit more degassing. So the working time for the silicone I used was 90 minutes and the cure time was about 12 hours. So I left it overnight and into the next day. So after letting that cure overnight, I basically had something like this. I was able to easily remove the rods and the parts here. Possibly I wouldn't use the wood glue again. It ended up being very difficult to pry without causing damage to the custom mold box. What I might try if I was to do this again, maybe something like this. This is a wax kind of filleting compound. After the glue had softened a bit, I was able to start to pry the edge around here, remove little bits of the glue, use shims. So I was able to get one half off relatively easily. Getting the second half off was a little bit more difficult. So that took a while. So I might even look at redesigning this enclosure to maybe be 3 or maybe even 4 pieces. The mold was again quite difficult to remove because there was basically a vacuum. I basically ended up having to kind of try breaking the air seal around and then squeezing and pushing from the bottom here. But take your time, try not to damage the mold. So this is the finished mold, and I'm very happy with the results. It perfectly picked up all the surfaces of my original object. I had no issues with bubbles forming on the underside edge here. And then I was able to, now I have a nice cavity to be able to pour my resins into. I wasn't planning to show the full casting process yet. I did actually take a casting of this. So here's the results. So I'll talk in a future video about how I've done the legs and the inside details of the LED. So the resin I used was this Crystal Clear 200. So it does have some blemishes. Ideally, I think you're meant to pressure cast. I'm probably going to use a different type of casting resin, clear casting resin that I can source locally here in Ireland. So one issue that I see with this, the resin's actually too clear. So all the light is basically going out of the LED. But it does focus very well the light. So this weekend I'm going to be in Cork for the Carnival of Science, and next week I'm going to be in Berlin for the Wear It Innovation Summit. So it'll probably be a little bit over a week before I do a follow-up video where I'm planning to describe how I designed and implemented the leg details. So if you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment boxes below. Please like, subscribe, and don't forget to share on Twitter, etc. Thank you. Bye bye.